Big ideas start with a spark. At Tassi's, we use that spark to ignite the fire in ourselves and our kids. So with the trust we build and the knowledge we share, we can grow together and stand tall, creating opportunities to advance in business while setting an example for the next generation. Whether you are starting fresh in Portugal or expanding globally, we're here to support each other. This is more than a network. We are a community that sets the examples for the leaders of tomorrow.
Hi, Erin. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to talk a little bit about how to incorporate AI into your daily life. And I'll start with asking you what you think students should be doing, parents, even educators, to teach people and teach themselves how to incorporate AI into their daily life without becoming dependent on it, but also knowing how to use it properly.
I think AI is a great exploration tool. If there's a subject that you're particularly interested in, AI can probably do a great job giving you a primer of what it is. And importantly, always ask AI for sources. So it can give you because it's going to hallucinate, it's often going to get things a little bit wrong. It will get things like 80% right and 20% wrong. And the advantage of having these sources is that you can then figure out where that 20% is, and then and then usually you can dive in, and it'll say, "Oh, I made a mistake." The AI will say that it made a mistake. It wasn't quite right. So one of the nice things about AI is it doesn't have an ego. It will admit if it's made a mistake.
And what chatbots or websites or types of AI do you think are the most reliable in terms of everyday use, and then ones that are take a little bit more learning how to prompt it, how to work with it, and if people should be what people should start with other than the basic just chat GPT?
ChatGPT and Gemini are great to start with. I also use Solve It with Code, especially for coding. What's great about that is it has a learning setting. So especially if you're trying to learn how to code, it will tell you this, it will say, do this, and it will give you some hints, it will give you something to think about, but with the expectation that you will be able to solve it and uh, you will be able to figure it out. You can do things like if there's for coding problems, is not only can it generate problems, but you can say, okay, this is the approach I'd like to take. Can you please write that out in Python? And then it will write out in Python. A big advantage is debugging. It will help you. Uh, so before AI, would half of the time coding was spent finding little mistakes and fixing them. And likewise, if you've written, don't use AI to write a draft paper for you, but use it. What it's very good at is suggesting ideas and then running what you've written through at the end. So if I'm trying to, one thing I'm working on now is uh, what countries militaries have learned from the experience of other countries' militaries, and it can give me ideas where, well, this country saw that this was effective, and then it tried that, and then I can dive down and get not necessarily primary sources, but certainly human sources and articles about that. That's been really effective. And then I can write everything out myself. It can be like, well, and then it's going to be like, well, you spent like, how can I, if I, my, I'm not very concise in case you can't tell by my answers, but so I can write out 5 pages and then I can say, can you capture the essence of this in 2 pages? And that's definitely something it can do.
So, what do you think people should and shouldn't be spending their time on, especially in workforce and even in education? What should we be using AI to optimize our time?
So when ChatGPT first came out, I was spending 30 minutes to an hour each day in chat rooms talking about what prompts worked and prompt engine and how to get the best prompts. And it was very important then to be able to learn how to get AI to do what you want. Now I don't think ChatGPT that was critical for things like if I asked it to code something, and I asked it, how would a senior developer code something, I would get different answers. Uh, so that really helped get the best. So now I don't think it makes much of a difference. So I would say prompt engineering, it's good to know how to provide context to the AI, and that's going to be important. But you don't need to go with necessarily you're a senior engineer. You're like creating these characters. And most importantly is being able to learn how to fact check the AI and how to use it in a way that teaches you something, not that you become dependent on it.
And what do you think is something that will not be replaced by AI?
Uh, I think, well, I think Mr. Chiquin nailed it when he said human judgment, understanding trade-offs, understanding this versus that is not something AI is going to be able to do effectively.
And do you think in the workforce and as AI is incorporated into people's lifestyles more and more, do you think that people are going to become dependent on it for things like socializing and communication, such as even writing a simple email to their boss?
100%.
And do you think that's a positive or a negative?
I think that's a negative. But I think the same way uh, most people I know can't get anywhere without GPS. I I pride myself on most of the time being able to, if but it's very helpful if I'm going somewhere I've never been before. But like, I don't think my wife could get here without GPS, and I think that's going to be a. And if you can't write an email, if you can't interact with, I mean, the number of people who use it to write breakup messages or inviting people out on the first date, and it's like if you can't interact with the what's going to distinguish people within the next few years is your ability to interact with humans on a human to human level. If you lose that ability because you need ChatGPT as an intermediary, like that's you, then like there's not going to be a very hopeful future.
And my last question is if you could give your younger self advice, or even just students my age about to go into university, um, any piece of advice, AI or not related, what would it be?
So going back, what I've been thinking about is Mark Zuckerberg started creating Facebook like at the end of his freshman year and had it done by the end of his sophomore year. You're within 5 years, you could be creating $1 billion company,
It's a lot of pressure.
and now it's even. And he was surrounded by very smart people who could help him out, and he could bounce ideas off of and build them out. Now you have not only that, you also have AI. You also could go in and code things, and code things. Not only code things, but you can vibe code it, and you can get it. So go out and experiment. If something interests you, just go around and think what should exist in the world. What do I would want to exist in the world that doesn't exist now, and then go out and make it. And you're probably not going to create it. You're probably not going to create $1 billion company. It's really not the first time. The first thing he did was uh, fa- uh, was face match, trying to find the prettiest girl at Harvard, which was not a useful, which is something an 18-year-old boy would do, but is not a particularly useful thing.
Missing in the world.
But certainly creating a user interface, creating a viable product that, guess what? But within 3 weeks of creating that, every guy at Harvard was going home and logging in and doing that. So he certainly learned a lot that ultimately translated into creating such a huge company. And there are many examples of that. So just going out, learning. Airbnb, one of the creators of Airbnb, started spam, helping people spam. Spammers hired him. He made $1 million
Wow.
before freshman year of college, helping spammers beat spam filters.
That's so funny.
Which taught him a lot about databases
Sure.
and analysis. Uh, that he used to create something that's actually valuable. But he was all actually on the list of like, he's still on the list of like banned spammers. So
That's so funny. Well, thank you so much for your
okay.
time. This was very interesting.